Good afternoon, everyone. This is Debbie Royce, Acting Secretary for the New York Job Development Authority. I'd like to welcome everyone to this afternoon's meeting. Before we formally begin, I'd like to take a poll of the members to assure that we have a quorum on the line, and I'd like to remind everyone to please mute your phones unless you're speaking. Acting Commissioner of DED, Eric Gertler, and today's chair. Are you on the line?
I am.
Thanks so much. Superintendent Linda Lacewell from the Department of Financial Services.
Present.
Designee for the Commissioner of Ag and Markets, Steve McGrattan.
I am here. Thank you.
Thank you. Designee for the Commissioner of the Department of Labor, Karen Coleman.
Good afternoon. Yes, I'm present.
Thanks so much. Emily Yusuf.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. Alfredo Assad.
I'm here as well.
Thank you. And has Mr. Barsky joined the call? Okay, Commissioner Gertler, you are good to go. We have a quorum for the meeting, and you may begin. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Debbie. And good afternoon, everyone. I now call to order the meeting of the members of the New York Job Development Authority for Thursday, August 20th, 2020. Before we get started, I will ask that everyone please mute their phone until they are ready to speak. Also, for the record, I will ask that anyone wishing to speak, please be sure to state your name before you begin. I'd like to note for the record that due to public health concerns and as authorized by an executive order of the governor, this meeting will be conducted by teleconference. I'll also note for the record that the public was given the opportunity to comment on the agenda items by submitting their written comments by 4:30 p.m. yesterday. I'd like to state for the record that no comments were received from the public concerning today's agenda items. The members have received the written materials in advance of this meeting and are present to ask questions at any time during the presentations. I will now ask the members whether anyone has any potential conflict of interest with respect to any of the items on the agenda. If so, I will ask you to please make an appropriate disclosure on the record at this time. We will then be sure that you may recuse yourself from any discussion or vote with regard to such item or items. Hearing none, I will proceed. I first want to thank all the members for attending this phone call, and I want to, in specific, also recognize Linda Lacewell, who she and I have now been on our third board call together today. So thank you, Superintendent Lacewell, for your time and efforts in helping to support ESD, and thank you for all members for devoting your next half hour or so to this meeting. So, and again, hearing none, the first item on today's agenda is the approval of the minutes of the December 19th, 2019 members meeting.
Motion.
I second.
Debbie, is this for me to continue on this?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought someone made the motion that I was seconding.
Okay, perfect. Second here. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you. The motion now carries. And I'd like now to call upon Ray Salaberios to present the next item on today's agenda, which relates to the reexamination of JDA's mission statement and related performance measurements and the acceptance of the performance measurement report for the 2019-2020 fiscal year. Ray, when you're ready.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Eric. This is Ray Salaberios, and I am about to present the mission statement and related performance measurements for fiscal year 2019 and 2020. So in accordance with the Public Authorities Law, the New York Job Development Authority adopted the following mission statement and related performance measurements to assist the authority in determining how well it is carrying out its mission. The authority must re-examine its mission statement and related performance measurements annually to ensure that its mission has not changed and the performance measurements continue to support its mission. To assist the members in their review of the mission statement, I will go over the mission statement and related performance measurements. The mission statement. The New York Job Development Authority spurs growth and capital investments in New York State by using the authority granted to it and by leveraging state-guaranteed bonds to support low-interest loans to manufacturers and other targeted industries throughout New York State. The performance measurements are the annual number of transactions closed, the aggregate value of bonds issued, the number of jobs retained and created with each investment transaction, the amount of private capital investment leveraged, the number of transactions delinquent, the number of transactions in default, and the number of transactions approved by the authority during the reporting period. The performance measurement report is as follows. During fiscal year 2019-2020, the authority continued its efforts to expand the authority's loan portfolio and increase awareness of the authority's products in the lending and business communities throughout New York State. During this period, the members approved one loan for a project evidencing firm commitments from responsible financial sources for the total project cost exclusive of any request from the authority. The total JDA approved amount of the loan was $3,212,757. Closing on the authority's loans and disbursement of its funds occurs upon project completion. It generally takes several months to or more than a year to complete typical projects, subsequent to the approval by the authority and the Public Authorities Control Board. Because job creation and retention and the measurement of capital investment leverage can only be properly done after project completion and closing, the projects approved by the authority this year have not yet resulted in reportable job creation, retention, or capital leveraged. It is noted that staff made significant efforts to identify and analyze transactions that for various reasons staff determined were not eligible for presentation to the members. It is, however, anticipated that the approved project of $3.2 million will leverage $2,141,839 in private capital while retaining 57 jobs and creating 31 new jobs. In addition, this fiscal year, 5 new loans totaling $1,881,000 were approved as part of the aggregate $10 million that established the JDA Agriculture Loan Program. It is anticipated that the 5 JDA agriculture loans will leverage $1,528,500 in private capital, while also retaining 10 jobs and creating an additional 9 jobs. The JDA Agriculture Loan Program was created to make loans to lenders, which in turn provide financing to businesses that serve the agriculture industry, which would otherwise find difficulty in obtaining capital at a reasonable cost for establishing or expanding their enterprises. 2 transactions went into default during fiscal year 2019-2020. The transactions, a machinery and equipment loan and a real estate loan, were made to the same borrower. The total amount of delinquent principal is $5,040,826. The resolution of these defaults is still pending. The authority issued no bonds during the reporting period. At this point, the members are requested to confirm their re-examination of the mission statement and related performance measurements and to accept the fiscal year 2019-2020 performance measurement report in accordance with the Public Authorities Law. Thank you, and I'll answer any questions you may have.
Right, thank you, Ray, and let me repeat that. Are there any questions or comments from the members with regard to this item?
This is Emily Yusoff. I do have one question. And Ray, that's on the 2 transactions. Are they still in default, or how are they?
Yeah, well, though, if you remember, those two transactions related to the Castelli Cheese Company in Chautauqua County.
Right.
And so, despite investing in equipment and facility upgrades, the company struggled, to improve the manufacturing process and develop quality cheeses. They were expected to secure really large contracts with Costco and Wegmans. That never happened. In 2018, because of reduced cash flow at the plant, we restructured those loans to allow for interest-only payments for 3 years. And the equipment loan was also extended in additional years to help the company through these financial crises. That really only served to prolong the plant's financial difficulties. In November 2019, we met with the folks from the company and the Charterhouse Capital Partners and the owner of Nuevo Castelli, the parent company of Castelli America. So basically, they told us that they tried their best and did whatever they could, but they could no longer continue operations in New York State. And in December 2019, they closed the plant and 50 people were laid off. So right now, the Castelli matter, our cheese matter, is being resolved through the ABC proceedings. And that is a state, not federal, bankruptcy proceedings. So we have an auction set up for September. I believe we have almost 11 members saying they're going to participate in the auction. So we expect this to be resolved toward the end of September, hopefully in our favor. It should be noted that the auction, because of the COVID crisis, the auction will be held online, right? Mm-hmm. And so the auctioneer is handling the inquiries and making the plan available to those who seek, who want to inspect the property. He's assembled a list of bidders, and each bidder will have to post a refundable $50,000 bond to be allowed to participate. And that's where we're at now. The auction is going to be on September 24th.
And Ray, just to refresh my memory, I'm sorry, the first lien loans on this property outstanding, what's the total of that?
Well, it was $4,660,000 for the machinery equipment and $840,000 for the real estate loan. So we are, like I said, we're trying to secure our rights via the ongoing bankruptcy process.
I understand. Could I make one request that as soon as a resolution, even if it's between meetings, that you let the members know what happened?
Absolutely. Yes, we can do that.
Thank you. That's the end of my questions.
Right. Any other questions or comments? Okay. As noted earlier, we do not have any comments from the public with regard to this item. I will now entertain a motion for approval.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Right. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you. The motion carries. I would now like to call upon Kathleen Mize to present the next item on today's agenda, which relates to the approval of certain annual financial reports. Kathleen?
Thank you, Eric, and good afternoon, members. The Public Authorities Law requires annual approval by the authority members and certifications by the Chief Executive Officer and the Chief Financial Officer of certain financial reports, the reports. The reports consist of financial information set forth in the combined financial statements and independent auditor's report, March 31, 2020 and 2019, the audit report, as prepared with the authority's independent audit firm, EFTR Group, LLP. The audit report is being presented today instead of before June 30th, as required under the law, consistent with Executive Order Number 202.11, that allows the Director of the Authority's Budget Office, the ABO, to disregard reporting deadlines during the current state of emergency. The ABO encouraged all public authorities to make reasonable efforts to submit the required reports as timely as is practical, but no later than 90 days after the original deadline. The COVID-19 pandemic affected the ability of both the ESD finance team and the independent audit firm to safely work in ESD's New York City office and prevented the audit firm from being able to conduct certain on-site audit testing and other processes required under their auditing standards before the June 30th deadline. It should be noted that the delay is only due to restrictions in place and related to COVID-19, and it is not related to the authority's financial performance or operating results. The audit report for the fiscal year ended March 31, 2020 contains an unmodified, clean opinion reflecting that the combined financial statements present fairly, in all material respects, the financial position, results of operations, and cash flows of the authority. In addition, the independent auditor's report on internal control over financial reporting and on compliance, addressing whether control deficiencies or material weaknesses in internal control exist, did not identify any deficiencies that would be considered to be material weaknesses. The audit firm was able to obtain reasonable assurance that the authority's financial statements are free of material misstatement by performing tests of compliance with certain provisions of laws, regulations, contracts, and grant agreements, including the authority's investment guidelines and other matters. Non-compliance with any of these could have had a direct and material effect on the financial statements. Their testing revealed no instances of compliance or other matters that are required to be reported. Included in the materials presented today is the complete audit report for the fiscal year ended March 31, 2020. Earlier this afternoon, the Audit, Finance, and Government Committee of the Authority reviewed the audit report and recommended its presentation to the members. Members of our external audit firm, EFPR Group LLP, are also on the phone with us, and we are happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Are there any questions or comments from the members with regard to this item? Okay.
Motion to move.
As noted earlier, we do not have any comments from the public with regard to this item. I will now entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Any second? Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, thank you. Thank you. The motion carries. And now, Antov Badasian will now present an item relating to the adoption of the authority's revised procurement guidelines. Antov?
Thank you, Eric, and good afternoon. The members may recall that JDA's procurement guidelines need to be updated annually to reflect new legislation or executive orders that impact contracting for goods and services. The only substantive change in this year's update to the guidelines was to increase the threshold amount for discretionary buying without a formal competitive process from $200,000 to $500,000 from small businesses, certified minority and or women-owned business enterprises, and service-disabled veteran-owned businesses. As with all previous sets of guidelines, the 2020 guidelines are a mirror image of the guidelines already adopted by the ESD Board of Directors. Thank you.
Great. Any questions or comments from the members with regard to this item? Okay. As noted earlier, we do not have any comments from the public with regard to this item, so I will now entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Motion.
Great. Second?
Second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, thank you. The motion carries.
Thank you.
There being no further business, may I happily have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion.
Right.
Second.
Well, again, thank you to everyone thank you to everyone again for your participation in today's meeting. Very much appreciated. Have a good rest of the day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Thank you.